Look at that thing. It's rotating. Oh, got it!
I hope this video doesn't push people away from my channel. I really hope. I'm kind of nervous to film it for multiple reasons, as you guys can probably imagine. If you see my hair blowing around in this video like I'm in a shampoo commercial, that would be because I have a fan set up and it's 80 degrees outside, so I'm really hot, so that's why. So as you guys know, all over the media they've been talking about UFOs or UAPs, whatever you want to call them. I never really planned on making content around this until I saw a video by a YouTuber that I really like called Fran Blanche. So it inspired me to make this video, so thank you. I really appreciate for the inspiration. So let's just acknowledge the possibility of there being extraterrestrial life. Just the possibility. So in our galaxy alone, there's an estimated 100 to 400 billion, with a B, stars. Each star on average has at least one planet. Obviously there's going to be the exception, but majority of them have at least one, if not multiple, like our star does. Then you have to take into account that there is an estimated 2 trillion, with a T, galaxies in our observable universe, which all have around 100 billion to 400 billion stars in them, if not more, maybe a little bit less, but on average. So the likelihood of there being other life out there is pretty much definite. It's way more likely that there is life out there than not. So now let's just talk about the capabilities of these objects or crafts or whatever you want to talk about them. And let's not even have the debate down in the comments about if there are UFOs, if there aren't. It's been confirmed by the government. It's out there. It's public knowledge. Now that we've gotten past that, we just need to talk about what these objects or crafts are capable of and who's operating them, or if they operate themselves. So from the 60 Minutes In interview that I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen, they interviewed some people who used to work for the Air Force, and based on what they said, they've seen these objects descend from 80,000 feet to ground level in less than 1 second. For example, when I went skydiving, I jumped out of a plane from 13,000 feet, and if I hadn't pulled my parachute, it would have taken about a minute and a half for me to splat on the ground from 13,000 feet. These objects are going from 80,000 feet to ground level in less than a second. Apparently they have the capability of flying at 13,000 miles per hour, which is way beyond the speed of sound. I think the speed of sound is around 800 to 900 miles per hour. I'll put it on the screen. Once you start moving past the speed of sound, it creates a sonic boom, and these craft don't do that at all. These craft don't have any sign of propulsion or wings, so how are they flying? These objects can experience 600 to 700 G-forces. Basically, one G-force is just Earth's gravity. So say you weigh 100 pounds, and then all of a sudden the Earth's gravity just switches to 700 times as strong. All of a sudden you would weigh 70,000 pounds. So basically you would just squash to the ground because your muscles and bones would not be able to hold you together. So if this was just a normal craft and there were beings or people in it, if it's someone from Earth that created this, they would be sucked to the wall so violently that they would be experiencing that exact amount of pressure. They'd be 70,000 pounds if the craft could even hold itself together, because with that much force, the craft should just like completely come apart. So just keep that in mind when we're considering later who might be flying these objects or where they might be coming from. The last thing I want to mention is that one of the people in the 60 Minutes In interview said that they have seen them every single day for years. Also on top of that, they've seen it through radar, they've seen it through infrared, they've seen it from different points, from people in different airplanes, and also they've seen it with their naked eye and have taken photos of these craft. I need to stop saying craft, these objects. So I highly doubt that it was just like a glitch in their radar or something like that. A lot of people seem to think that it could be refracted light, Venus, the planet, which, okay, or a balloon. A lot of the times, yes, it could be these things, especially if you're just a normal person like I am looking up in the sky, you could see a satellite or something. I think that's happened to me a couple times, honestly. But when we're talking about trained military employees who are part of the Air Force, it's more likely that they're seeing something that isn't a balloon, Venus, or refracted light. The military puts millions of dollars into training these people. Also, as I said, they have a bunch of equipment that can tell them exactly the maneuvers of these objects and stuff like that. And when it's going 13,000 miles per hour, I don't think that that is a balloon. Because if a balloon's going that fast, obviously the wind has to be going that fast, and if the wind's going 13,000 miles per hour, that would be a hurricane on the next level. A lot of people like to say that these pilots might be like mentally ill and they're hallucinating, which is possible, but these are the people that we put in charge of protecting our country. So if they are they're seriously mentally ill and hallucinating, then maybe they shouldn't be protecting our country, because that would be very bad. So you can't have both. They're either mentally ill and crazy, or they're people that you trust to take care of our country, which I don't think that they're mentally ill and crazy. I think that they're trustworthy people. And then also, on top of that, there's multiple witnesses of the exact same event. So it's either that they're all going crazy at the exact same time and hallucinating the same thing, or that it's actually happening, which I think is definitely the more likely scenario. The next claim is that the Pentagon just wants more money. I think that this is a pretty easy claim to disprove. There are way more easy ways for the Pentagon to get money. They've done it before, as we all know. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of that. And then also, I think it's important to remember that the Pentagon didn't willingly release these videos and photos that were actually leaked. The only thing that the Pentagon did was confirm that they were genuine and authentic. So it really seems like they had no intention of these getting out there to the public. I really don't think that it's for money, but obviously anything's possible, honestly. And also, if you guys have any like different points or anything that you guys can think of that I didn't, or any arguments against something that I've said, please leave them down below, because I'm completely willing to change my opinion. Another claim that people have been putting out there is that it's another country or it's the US. I don't think that's very likely. The US government has already put in millions of dollars into studying this phenomena, and if the US government was the one making the phenomena, why would they spend millions of dollars studying it, if that makes sense? I don't know. Maybe you guys have answers. And then also the idea with it being another country. My question is, why haven't they used it for more malicious intents yet? If you know what I mean. YouTube's a little sensitive, especially since UAPs have been studied since around the 1950s. It's not like they just popped up within the last 10 years. They've been around for a long time. The only reason I could think another country wouldn't want to use them yet is because they want to see what other countries have. Because if everyone has like secret technologies that no one knows about, then you don't want to use yours because someone might have something better, and then if you use yours, then whoops, it's really bad for you. So we've gotten out of the way that it's probably not people. At least that's my personal opinion. So now we come to the next question as to why aliens would want to visit us. This is when we get really deep into the topic, so put on your thinking caps, guys. So my personal theory, I have multiple, but I think that this one's the most interesting, is that it could be us from the future. Guys, I told you this is out there, but please listen. So time travel is theoretically possible. And when you bring that point up, a lot of people will say, well, time travel violates the laws of physics and it's just not possible. But I think that argument is kind of thrown out the window, considering these objects are already violating the laws of physics. Being able to exceed 600 G-forces, flying into water without making an impact or a wave, which I forgot to mention that. They can descend 80,000 feet in less than a second, go 13,000 miles per hour without making a sonic boom. So it very well could be us from the future. And that would explain the question as to why would they want to come here, because we're hardly evolved at all. They're way past us. Maybe they're coming to look at their ancestors and learn about their past. I mean, we do that today. We look at artifacts, we look at fossils. Imagine if we had that technology and we could go back to the past. I personally, if I could just pay like $100 and go into a UFO and go fly back and look at cavemen from a distance and study them, I think that would be amazing. But obviously you can't go down and interact with the cavemen because that would affect how the future plays out. So maybe they're doing the exact same thing with us. They're just studying, watching us, learning things, but they don't want to interact with us because that would mess up their future. I already kind of brought this up just a few seconds ago, but the next topic is, why don't they talk to us? The first thing is that they would be unbelievably more intelligent than we are. So who even knows that we would be on the same scale of communication? Maybe they do it telepathically and we do it by speech, or there's just a completely different language, who knows? And you have to keep in mind that just because they don't interact with us as a whole, like coming down to the White House and saying, we are here people, we want to make peace, just because they don't do that doesn't mean that they don't go interact with individuals. There are people that claim that they've been abducted by aliens, or aliens have visited them. It is a thing that people claim, so I'm not going to completely discount them. I'm also not saying that it's 100% true, but it's something to include in this video with this topic. So maybe they are interacting with people, it's just not all of us as a whole. So now my final consensus of what I think is possible. I think it's possible that these objects... Oh, Millie moved the camera. I think it's possible that these objects are fifth dimensional. as Fran Blanche, as I told you guys about in the beginning of this video. She has the same hypothesis. But the reason why I think this is because they break the laws of physics. It's almost like they aren't affected by anything around them. They can just go into the water without even creating the smallest little wave. As Fran put it, it's like they're in their own piece of space that they can manipulate and then just go through things. And a lot of the things that these objects are seen doing don't make any sense at all. Like Commander Fravor from that 60-minute interview, he said that when he saw this object, it was like shaped like a tic tac. It was just doing these random movements over the water, and the water was like bubbling under it, just doing random things that don't seem to make any sense. He said that he descended in his airplane to get a better look, and when he did that, it kind of noticed that it was being watched and it flew in his direction. So it seems like there's some type of intelligence to these objects. Another interesting theory is that they could be alive in and of themselves, because obviously we're producing AI. It's definitely not that advanced. We have like Siri, we have Alexa. It's nowhere near that level, but if we continue, it should be at that level at some point. So who knows, maybe another alien civilization way in the past, somewhere far away, was able to make robots, and then all of a sudden the robots took over or something, or lived with the aliens and they evolved into these craft, and then now they can just fly through space as fast as they want, and they have a reason for being here that we just aren't aware of. Or maybe they're everywhere, or maybe they're everywhere all over the galaxy, but obviously we only see them on Earth, so we think that they're just here, but maybe they're everywhere. I really don't know, but I think it's interesting to think that maybe they're alive in and of themselves, because like I said, anything that's inside of it would die from the G-forces, unless there's a black hole inside of it. If you could have a black hole inside, then you could make your own gravity, and then it would counteract the G-forces that you'd be experiencing. And then also that would provide pretty much infinite power. So that's another thing, is that we don't see any type of fuel or anything like that coming out of this. So that would explain that, because you'd have pretty much unlimited fuel if you had a black hole. But yeah, I just thought this was a really interesting topic. I've been interested in it ever since I was a kid. When I was in elementary school and we had the book fairs, I would go in and find any UFO or alien book that I possibly could. Yeah, it's just been a huge interest of mine. Now that it's getting like actual attention and it's becoming like more real and it's being confirmed by the Pentagon, which is insane, it makes me even more interested, honestly. I just want there to be less stigma around this topic, because anytime you bring it up, people start laughing and becoming like immature, and I understand that. Oh, there it goes again. Back to what I was saying. I understand the funniness around it and stuff like that, because obviously Hollywood's made a whole thing about it. We're quite desensitized to it, so it just kind of seems a little far-fetched. But, like I said, the chance of there being other life out there is pretty much definite. I think that the fact that we're here, and I'm here making this video, and you're here watching it, is proof of that. Please go check out FRAN'S video. I'll link it down below. She did a much better job at explaining this whole thing. Leave any of your ideas down below. I'm really interested in seeing what you guys come up with. Feel free to correct anything that I said incorrectly in this video. Oh, wait, also, don't forget to subscribe, please. I always forget to friggin' say that. Well, I've been doing better recently. Yeah, please remember to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. YouTube's been unsubscribing people from my channel, so that'd be very appreciated. Yes, English. It's not like it's my first language or anything. Give this video a like if you liked it, or a dislike if you didn't. I guess that's fine. It's a free way that you can help the channel out, and it'll push the video to more people so that we can really get this topic rolling and destigmatize it. I want to see more people talking about it. Okay, well, peace out. Bye. I love all of you. Just kidding, guys. I lied. I'm still here. Before I go, I just want to say a big thank you to all of the amazing people who support the channel on Patreon. Because of you guys, I'm able to continue making content and show you all of the beautiful places that the United States and many other places in the future have to offer. So thank you guys very, very much. And an extra special thank you goes to JoJo and Beastie, John Emerson, Scott Ashley Smith, Michael Posh, Scott Ballantyne, Scott Sweaters, Paul Carpenter, Britt Saunders, Johan Gittens, Jordan Vajda, and Duncan Stewart Cumming. Once again, thank you guys so very much. I really appreciate it. I hope all of you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out. I hope my hair wasn't blowing too much in this video. And I hope I'm not sweating too much. And then I hope the fan wasn't too loud. It's just hot. It really is. Millie, do you want to say hi to the camera? That thing's gonna fall again. Told you. I have it up to keep it a little bit darker on the side so that the exposure's not weird when I film, and also to keep it a little bit cool in here to keep the sun out. But obviously that's not working very well. I couldn't find my thumbtacks to hang it up. Oh, okay, thank you, Millie. I couldn't find my thumbtacks to hang it up, so I just put some painter's tape. And as you can see, that's not working very well, so.